Does your social media consumption offer you nourishment or does it deplete your soul? In other words, does your feed feed you or are you feeding it? In a recent conversation with some friends, I realized that I've cultivated a really positive Instagram space. And about a year ago, I shared with you some spiritual and inspirational Instagram accounts to follow. And today I want to offer you some poets who are personal friends of mine, whose work I want to share with you, and poets who are perhaps more well known. But by having them in my Instagram feed, it's like a prescription for my soul. And it makes it so that when I scroll at the end of the day, which is how I wind down at the end of the day, my content is pretty well curated towards nourishment. So I want to share some of these poets with you today. The first is Margaret Adler under the account name Letters Aligned. Meg, as she's known by, is an artist and a poet and also a Jewish educator. Meg's work really spans from infographics about Jewish holidays to social justice work to poetry. And she's been particularly prolific with the poetry this year. So I wanted to share her as one of the accounts that I recommend following for nourishment in your feed. This poem, I believe, comes from her latest collection about a traveling artichoke, but this could be a separate collection. That's how prolific she's been this year. So that's Meg Adler at Letters Aligned. She also does really beautiful graphic work and line drawings. So she's a good one to have in your feed. Next up is Devon Spire. Devon's work has been featured on Ritual Well, which is a Jewish website devoted to reinvigorating Jewish ritual. Her work has also been featured in a bunch of different prayer books, and having Devon in your feed, Devon's another prolific artist. There are multiple pieces of content from Devon in any given day, from poems that she has written to funny little memes that she has created to pictures of herself documenting some of her spiritual journey that she's been on. I find her to be really inspiring and nourishing and uplifting. And I'm always looking forward to what Devon has to say. And then finally is more world-renowned poet who is not a personal friend of mine, although I sort of feel like she is now that she's in my Instagram feed, is Rupee Core. Rupee Core just released, I believe, her second, maybe her third book of poetry. And she's been sharing a lot of it on Instagram. Many people have turned to Rupee Core's work as a form of spiritual practice. She really taps into something about the human experience and helps elevate us in moments of sorrow. There have been lots of moments of sorrow this year, and with these poets and others in my Instagram feed, I find a rather uncanny experience of whatever is ailing me. There is something in my social media world to reflect that, to mirror it, and to lift it up. So, of course, continue following Temple to Her Sinai on Facebook and Instagram. And I will bring you more content if you want. Feel free to email me to ask for other suggestions. But I hope that these three poets add some light and some love to your Instagram feed so that it nourishes you instead of depleting you.